Hello everyone, it's Jordan Howie here, and in this video I will be talking about should I get rebaptized if I was baptized and by a heretic. That is the question for today's video. So the answer to this question is no, and the reason that is that baptism is a work of is the sacrament, and it depends on the work of God and not the work of man. So, if you were baptized by a false teacher, then you do not have to get rebaptized. And that is since baptism is valid in all cases. Since the sacraments are dependent on God and not man. And I would also point out that if you are baptized as a baby, then that baptism counts is valid and you do not have to get rebaptized. And now if you are baptized as a baby, but at the same time choose to get rebaptized due to holding to the credo baptism view, then that's okay. The topic of infant baptism is a secondary issue, not a core gospel issue, which means that having different views on this issue will not affect salvation whatsoever. Do not condemn others over having different views on this issue, because this issue does not affect salvation, which means that it is not a primary issue, it is a secondary issue. So in the moment, I'm about to expose the Donatism heresy. So, baptism is valid in all cases. So that means that if you got baptized, but then later on found out that you were baptized by a heretic, then you do not need to get rebaptized. These beautiful facts prove that Donatism is a dangerous, damnable lie. And so, Donatism is a heresy that says that the sacraments are only valid if performed by a real Christian. That is a blatant heresy, because some of these sacraments depend on God. And it also attempts to redefine the gospel in such an insulting manner. So, Donatism is such an insulting heresy. So, if you attend a church, if you're currently attending a church who preaches Donatism, then you should leave that church. Because that is a heretical church. And if a preacher preaches Donatism, then he is a heretic. And that is since Donatism is a damnable lie. And this kind of teaching will split hell wide open. So the real danger of the Donatism heresy is that this heresy views the sacraments as conditional, and the Donatism heresy was condemned in the Council of Arles. It was sometime around the 6th century. A church council where this heresy was condemned. And that is it for this video. Have a nice time. Oh, and so one last thing. Condemning others over non-salvation issues, including the topic of infant baptism, is very, very unwise and immature. And remember, we must have an open-minded stance when it comes to non-salvation issues. And that includes every secondary issue and every tertiary issue. We must have an open-minded stance on non-salvation issues, and then have a strict stance on getting it right when it comes to the primary issues, since all of the primary issues are also salvation issues. And because getting a primary issue wrong will place you outside salvation. Now that is it for this video. Have a nice day, and goodbye.